Hello, what is going on guys? It's Quark here and I am bringing you a first tutorial for a banner design that I have done. I posted on Twitter and I had such great feedback from it, and I'm really thankful for the amount of feedback I got from this banner design. I'm just going to try and find it real quick. I should have really thought about that before I started fucking recording. So, how was your day? Yeah, mine was good too. Didn't really do much. Hoping this kind of fucking opens soon. Don't know why everything... Oh, it's open up on the other screen. Hang on, let's drag over here. So, this is the banner I was on about. I made this banner design for Posey, a member of Horizon. He wanted a nice little new banner. This is the first kind of style I did like this. I've never tried anything like it before, and I had such great feedback from it, which was amazing. So why is there another one popped up? So people asked for a tutorial. So I'm here today to show you from scratch how to do a banner just like this one. So the things you're going to kind of need for definite: Cinema 4D and Photoshop. And the first thing we're going to be using is Cinema 4D. Which like kind of creates this. I delete the image, which creates that text. So you're going to go to MoGraph, Effector, Random, and I am using a Lightroom here. So if you're new to Cinema 4D, oh, you've clicked on Random. So if you're new to Cinema 4D, there's so many kind of Lightrooms you can get off the internet, or if you like, I can do like a tutorial to show you how to set up a Lightroom, or the Lightroom I use specifically. I mean, the one I'm using at the moment is Sesso exclusive Halloween Lightroom, just because it's quite a dark one. And Sesso, amazing designer, taught me near enough everything I knew. So the banner I'm going to be doing today is for a friend of mine called Myers. Fucking dear. So you're going to go into your text and put Myers, like that, and you see it's going to be a horrible Surgo UI font, and the font I use is called Oh No, which is this kind of really grungy, blood splattered kind of font, which looks sick on those kind of dark, grungy old style of banners. It kind of suits in with it. So on your depth, it's going to be set to 20 originally. I'm going to set mine to about 200, a little bit less, about 150. Yeah, just like that. And then just to give it a bit of depth, so it looks a bit more spacious to it. And subdivision. So everything on your text is absolutely fine right now. And you can just zoom in a little bit, like that. And what you want to do with your text is click on it, right click, and then go all the way down to Make Editable. And what that does, it opens up all 5 of your letters, and it puts them into individual little slots. Now if I click on M, I can just move this around freely, so it doesn't move the whole text. And what that does, it allows me to kind of move it a bit more around. So I'm just gonna move everything a little bit closer together, almost so they're overlapping. Just like that. And then I'm going to make a couple of them just a little bit bigger. And what you do is just click on this little square box here, and you just hold and drag, and that just enlarges your image to scale. I'm not going to enlarge it much, just a little bit, and then kind of center it back in again. And then go to the M, enlarge that one, and just center it again. So now they're all kind of a bit closer together and a bit more misshapen. And now what you want to do is, if you click on this little black box up here, it separates you into 4 different sections. One which you look from above, you can't rotate it, just look from above. One when you're looking straight on, like the original image, just only highlighted, and then one looking from the side. So you can kind of see your letters from above, and what that does is I can move this now forward, and I can see how far I'm moving forward. And then the Y I can keep as it is. The E, I'm just going to push back a little bit. The R can stay as it is, and the Z can move forward. and what this does, it creates like a shadow between the layers, and then when going into Photoshop you can kind of treat those shadows a bit better, so it kind of pops out more. It does take a kind of while to get used to. I mean, like, I haven't even brought it up much, and you can see there's a little bit of kind of shadows around the Z here, and just on this Y, but there's not a lot. I'm just going to bring them out more. I'm just going to put a colour on there. So I'm going to be using this, what is it called? Light grunge. So it's like a very, very light, kind of dark gradient, black and grey. And that just kind of makes that colour that little bit nicer instead of this bland, very, very bright grey. So if you just click on your colour that you've added to your layer, and then go down to projection, and you want to change it to frontal. And what that does, what was it on before? Cubic. So on cubic, because of the gradient, it's going to put a line straight through the middle, so it does it in blocks depending on the size of your of your font or whatever you're using. Whereas frontal just kind of spreads it, so it creates it across the whole board. And then what you want to do is hold Control on your keyboard, and then click and hold, and then just drag it down, and then you'll duplicate all the way across all 5. And now you've got this nice little colour here. And now if I just take off all of this and do a quick render, you'll see it's that nice kind of darkish grey, but not too unmistakably dark. And you see there isn't much shadow just yet. So what I need to do now is move this M just a little bit more forward, move the Y a little bit more forward, and then just keep kind of playing around with your text until you kind of find where you want your letters to be. In fact, I'm going to bring that E forward over the R, bring that Y a little bit closer, and push that R backwards. Okay, so yeah, you kind of end up with something like this, and you can't really see the layers that much because of the colour difference. I mean, drag that one back a bit more. Ooh, doing it wrong. Drag that one back a bit more. There we go. So yeah, you can't, like, if you put it to the side angle, you see how far they've actually gone back, but that's because of the depth of the actual text themselves. So now that you've done that, I'm just going to zoom all the way out, and you can see my Lightroom up there. And all I'm going to do is highlight all of the layers, and then just kind of move it a little bit closer to the Lightroom, just so that light hits it a bit nicer, and center it. And zoom back in, and you want to get, not too close, but a good depth distance away, just so you can get all of your layers, and just give it a quick little pre-render. Okay, you know what, I'm actually going to change this. I'm going to change the colour on this just a little bit. I'm going to use this light grey, and copy, window, let's get rid of all of these, don't need them, and UV map in, frontal, drag, render. So I'm actually going to use a lighter grey, just because that dark grey didn't really bring out the shadows as much. So I'm just going to change the colour of it, just so it kind of brings out that bit of shadowing a bit more. Yeah, so you can see on this lighter grey just here, it's bringing out that darkness underneath the E a bit more. But all of this as well, we can make it a lot darker in Photoshop and kind of blend in the shadowing a lot more. And I'm actually going to just move the camera around a little bit and push that back. And you can even kind of grab your rotation tool and just kind of tip it forward maybe a little bit. And what that does is let the light kind of hits it a bit more, but you don't want to do it too much. And the same downwards, you can do a bit more, and you can see it kind of darkens it. But I'm just going to keep mine facing forward, and just kind of move the camera dead center to there. Cool. So that's kind of how I do my text.